In this original series from Netflix, Congressman Frank Underwood helps get the president elected.
This is the memo I've drafted on our Middle East policy we've been developing. Now, I'd like to coin the phrase trickle-down diplomacy.
But the president breaks his promise to appoint Frank Secretary of State.
Walker wasn't even there. That's what really gets me. He didn't have the courage to look me in the eye.
Seeking revenge, Frank begins a political war against the president in House of Cards.
Hi, I'm Liz.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to talk about the new Netflix original series, House of Cards. We've all just seen it?
Well, for the purposes of reviewing this show, I say let's set some standards right off the bat.
All right.
So in terms of giving the show a see it, that would be see it immediately, right? Go to Netflix and watch it as soon as possible. Stream it's kind of vague, but that would be put it at the end of your queue and watch it when you have the time.
Watch it eventually.
And skip it, obviously. Don't check it out at all. I don't think we have to worry about that one because the show is pretty good.
Yeah, no, I don't think that there's anybody here who wants to say skip it.
It's very well done. It's very well written, amazing cast. Like, the pedigree of this show is astounding.
It's a very strong show because Netflix felt that they needed to start on a really strong foot to start producing their own original content. Media Rights Capital had the rights to House of Cards,
which is a novel written by Michael Dobbs.
It was adapted into a BBC television show of the same name, and they wanted to adapt it for American politics in present day. So the Media Rights Capital shopped it around, tried to sell it, and a bunch of different TV networks were interested in it, but Netflix came in and swooped it up.
House of Cards is Netflix's first fully produced original series. They'll do this again when they produce the next season of Arrested Development this coming May.
Well, they ordered 2 seasons right off the bat, 26 episodes, which is unusual, which means they have a lot of faith and they really want to see this thing through. And the first season, all 13 episodes, is available at one time on Netflix.
So David Fincher approached Beau Willimon to be showrunner for House of Cards because of Beau Willimon's experience with political dramas.
Beau Willimon wrote the play Farragut North, which he then adapted into the screenplay for The Ides of March, directed by George Clooney.
Well, the story is an interesting one. It's a political drama, and it follows Kevin Spacey's character, Congressman Frank Underwood, as he basically plays a political game. He helped get the president elected and was promised the role of Secretary of State and didn't get it. So now he's sort of got a little bit of revenge thing going on, and instead of working for the president, he's working for himself. Our guide through the story is Kevin Spacey. He breaks the fourth wall a lot, and he talks directly to the audience.
It looks positively medieval, doesn't it? Trying to turn my only sanctuary into a fitness dungeon, I won't have it.
By having Kevin Spacey address the camera occasionally, it does work well for the show to make it not feel like you're being delivered exposition. Otherwise, you have a character who's addressing things in a more humorous manner. So you're kind of getting the information you need, but it's a unique sort of way to present it, so it doesn't bog the series down in a lot of political jargon.
Exactly. The breaking of the fourth wall adds realism because it avoids exposition that wouldn't happen in real life in politics because everybody there knows everything already. So having him stop and tell us what he just did works.
Also, I mean, I found it a little abrasive, but I got used to it after a while. I think the issue is that Kevin Spacey's character of Underwood is so duplicitous and such a mastermind that it's nice to be let in on his plans, and you don't hate him as much if you're in on the plans with him. Mm-hmm. You're not resenting him as much.
Which is really clever.
His actions could be considered evil or at least manipulative, but by having someone like Kevin Spacey, who is a charismatic person, like, you're able to go along with how his role was played, and you don't feel like you're rooting against him at all. You want to root for him.
We are not nominating you for Secretary of State. I know he made you a promise, but circumstances have changed.
The nature of promises, Linda, is that they remain immune to changing circumstances.
He very much takes ownership of the program with his character and his performances. And the show's populated with what David Fincher calls all first-choice actors. Every single actor on the show was their first choice, the production team. And Kate Mara is lovely, Kristen Connolly is lovely. I was impressed with the quality of performances.
I want to single out Robin Wright as Spacey's wife in the series. She supports her husband, and you can see that. They're certainly a power couple, but she also has her own ways as the series kind of develops where you see her. She knows how to manipulate things to her own advantage in a way, and it's interesting to watch how that unfolds throughout the series.
Hubris. Ambition.
You should be angry.
I'm livid.
Then where is that? I don't see it.
What do you want me to do? Scream and yell? Throw a tantrum?
I want more than I'm seeing. You're better than this, Francis.
Well, I'm sorry, Claire. I am sorry.
No. That I won't accept.
What?
Apologies.
So David Fincher is one of the creative heads of this show, and he directs the first 2 episodes, and he puts his imprint on the show with that very cool, stylized look of his, that very, with the yellows and the greens that he likes to use. And I like that the series continues along with his style and has a nice visual continuity.
It's very Fincher-esque, which is a good thing. I'm a big David Fincher fan.
That's mine.
And I like that the other directors that are coming in are keeping up with the Fincher-esque directing habits instead of having awkward changes in style in the middle of the season. I also find it to be an extremely realistic show, not just because of all the political jargon, which you can get lost in, but even when I did get lost in it, I didn't care because I was just so intrigued by the show.
Yeah, I would agree. Fincher does bring an aesthetic to the show that is held throughout the series, and I do like that they have a high level of directorial talent involved. You have Joel Schumacher on his more serious side. You have Carl Franklin.
James Foley?
James Foley, Glengarry Glen Ross.
And Twin Peaks.
And Twin Peaks, yes. And it feels like, just as the show has a large ensemble cast of actors that were cast for this series, it has a list of directors who seem to want to be involved in this series as well. There are a lot of shows on my DVR that I just haven't been in the mood for. House of Cards is a show that I burned through in less than a week. I say see it.
With the strong writing, the superb direction, and the amazing performances, along with the unique distribution method, House of Cards has my vote. See it.
If political dramas are your bag, then this is the show for you. See it. Cheers!
Cheers!
House of Cards now, Arrested Development tomorrow.
We almost had vomit. We almost had vomit.